Class 5th A NCERT book. Chapter 1, the imaginary lines. Let's learn about latitude, longitude, grid, Greenwich Mean Time, Indian Standard Time, maps. The Earth's surface is made up of huge landmasses known as continents, water bodies known as oceans and seas, and a large number of small islands. Geographers have created the globe for the purpose of locating places on the earth. To do so, some imaginary lines are drawn horizontally and vertically on the globe. The vertical lines are called longitudes and the horizontal lines are called latitudes. Latitude are imaginary lines, imaginary circles running from east to west on the globe. One such imaginary line of latitude is the equator. It divides the earth into two equal halves known as hemisphere. The northern part of the earth above the equator is called the northern hemisphere, and the southern part of the earth below the equator is called southern hemisphere. Latitudes are also called pairs of latitude as they run parallel to each other and to the equator. Latitudes are measured with the degree unit. The equator is the 0 degree latitude. Poles are 90 degree north and 90 degree south of the equator. The pairs in the northern hemisphere are labeled 10 degree north, 20 degree north, and so on. On the other hand, the pairs in southern hemisphere are labeled 10 degree south, 20 degree south, etc. There are 120 latitudes in all. Equator at 0 degree 90 latitude from 1 degree to 90 degree in the northern hemisphere. 90 latitudes from 1 degree to 90 degree in the southern hemisphere. Important parallels of latitude. The most important and the longest parallel of latitude is the equator. All the other latitudes are numbered from it. If we move northward from the equator, we will find the Tropic of Cancer at 23 half degree north, the Arctic Circle at 66 and half degree north, and the North Pole at 90 degree north. If we move southward from the equator, we will find the Tropic of Cancer at 23 degree south, the Antarctic Circle at 66 degrees south, and the South Pole at 90 degree. Characteristics of latitude. The lines of the latitude are pairs to each other and they never meet. All latitudes are actually circles drawn in each hemisphere. They become small as they move Earth into two equal halves. The North Pole at 90 degree in the northern hemisphere and the South Pole at 90 degree in southern hemisphere are just 2 points on the tilted axis of the Earth. Longitudes are imaginary vertical line on a globe running from the North Pole to the South Pole. These are also known as meridians, which means midi and in Latin. The central longitude that divides the Earth into two halves, Eastern Hemisphere and the Western Hemisphere, is known as the prime meridian. It is the 0 degree meridian. The meridian runs through the observatory at Greenwich in London, in the United Kingdom, and is also known as the Greenwich Meridian. All the other meridians are numbered from the prime meridian. There are 180 meridian to east. They are marked as 1 degree east, 179 degree east. The 180 meridian to the west of the prime meridian are marked as 1 degree west and 179 degree west. The meridian of 180 degree east and 180 degree west is the same line. It passes through the islands of the Pacific Ocean. It is called the international date line. A new date begins when we cross the meridian. There are 360 meridians in all. The prime meridian at 0, the international date line at 180 degree, 179 meridians from 1 degree east to 179 degree in the eastern hemisphere, 179 meridian from 1 degree west to 179 degree west in the western hemisphere, characterized of meridians or longitudes. All the meridians are of the same length and they meet at the poles. Meridians opposite to each other make from great circle and can divide the earth into two equal halves. Due to the shape of the earth, the distance between two longitudes is greater at the center near the equator, and it keeps decreasing as we move away towards the poles. The longitude to the east of the prime meridian are denoted with the symbol E meaning east, and the longitude to the west of the prime meridian are marked with the symbol W meaning west. Grid. The latitudes and the longitudes intersect each other and form a network of lines called grid. It helps us to locate places accurately on the globe and maps. For this, we need to know the latitude and the longitude of the place. The point of at which they cross each other will be the location of the place.